In this video, you're going to learn the easiest way to solve the 2x2's Rubik's Cube in 3 steps. I've taught this to many people and all it takes is 10 minutes. So don't worry too much and let's go ahead and get started. Now, you need to know what are clockwise and counterclockwise turns. So if I ask you to turn this side clockwise, you can imagine that there is a clock like this, and clockwise turn would be here, and counterclockwise is the opposite. How about the right side? Well, just put up the clock like this, and clockwise is this turn, counterclockwise is the opposite. How about the left side? Again, you imagine a clock like this. Clockwise direction is this turn, and counterclockwise is the opposite. Now, don't worry about the bottom face, we won't be turning the bottom face. And instead of saying clockwise and counterclockwise every single time, I'm going to say clock and counter for short. Now, what are corner cubes? Well, every single corner cube has 3 colors. So this corner cube has purple, blue, and white. How about this one? Well, this corner cube has yellow, pink, and blue. So whenever I say the corner cube, it's just basically the cube that is in the corner like this. The last thing that you need to know is something called the teleporter. So the front side that is facing you, it doesn't matter what color it is, this could be the front side facing you, but the teleporter is always this corner cube and this corner cube. So the top right corner cube and the bottom right corner cube are called the teleporter. The first step is to solve half of the cube. So we want to solve the white side as well. You can see the colors here match. Now we have a scrambled cube. The first thing you want to do is choose a white. You can choose any white, it doesn't matter. I'll choose this one. And you want to put this white at the bottom left. So let's place your thumb here to remember this is the front side. And what color is this? This is green. So the second thing is to find a corner cube that contains both white and green. So let's see. There is a corner cube over here that contains both white and green. You want to put this cube into the teleporter. So the teleporter is right here. It's very easy, just turn it. So as you can see, our corner cube is now in the teleporter. We're going to teleport the white so that it is right here. And it's very easy. So you want to do clock, clock, counter, counter. And we always start with the right side. So clock, clock, counter, counter. Let's see. Nope, the white is not here yet, so you do it again. Clock, clock, counter, counter. Nope, it's not, so let's do it again. Clock, clock, counter, counter. And there you go. You see that the white is here. Now we move over here. What color is this? This is pink. So we have to find a corner cube that contains both white and pink. Let's see. Yep, we found it. This corner cube has both white and pink. We want to put it into the teleporter. So all we have to do is just turn it like this. And now we have it. And again, clock, clock, counter, counter. Clock, clock, counter, counter. And there you go. Now, we go to this side and we want to find a corner cube that contains both blue and white. And we see that this one contains it. We put it into the teleporter and clock, clock, counter, counter. And here we go. We have half of the cube solved. We have the white side as well as these colors here. They're the same. And that's it for step number 1. You should practice about 5 or 6 times until you feel confident. And then we will move on to step number 2. In this video, I'm going to show you the second step to solve the 2x2's Rubik's Cube. But before I show you how to do step 2, I want to show you what the cube should look like once step 2 is finished. So step 2 is finished when you have 4 matches. And what does this mean? So let's take a look at this corner cube. We have blue and purple. Up here, we also have blue, and purple. Now I want you to ignore white and yellows, and this would be a match. Over here we have green and purple. Up here we also have green and purple, so that is a match. This is also a match, and that's also a match. So once you have 4 matches, step 2 is finished. Usually after you solve step 1, you won't have 4 matches yet. So how many matches does this cube have right now? Well, let's see. This one has blue, pink. Up here is purple, green. So that is not a match. This one has blue and purple. This one has blue and pink. So that's not a match either. This one is purple, green, green, pink. Not a match. Here is green and pink, and blue and purple. So at the moment, there are 0 matches. When you have 0 matches, you need to match 1. So let's pick this corner cube, and we rotate the top until we have a match. Now we have a match. So this one is green and pink. This one is also green and pink. So now we have 1 match. At the moment, we have 1 match. Let's see over here. This one is blue and pink, purple and blue, not a match. Purple, blue, green, purple, not a match. Purple, green, blue, and pink, not a match. So we only have 1 match, and the reason why I'm checking all the other corner cubes is because you may have more than 1 matches, and I'll discuss what we should do in that case. So at the moment, we have this match, and I want you to put it on the side like this. And what you want to do is clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, counter, counter, clock. So we always start at the top. So clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, counter, counter, clock. And check the corners again. Here is a match. This one is a match. This one is also a match. And this one is a match. So we now have 4 matches, which means step 2 is done. So what happens when you have more than 1 matches? This one is a match because we have blue, purple, blue, purple. That is a match. This one is not a match because this one is purple, green, green, and pink. This one is green and pink, purple and green. Not a match. Blue and pink and blue and pink. So this is a match. Currently we have 2 matches, this one and this one. So what you want to do is just pick the one that does not match. So I'll pick this one because this one doesn't match. This one has green and purple and green and pink. And you want to hold it with your right hand like this so that it is on the side like this. And you do clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, counter, counter, clock. Clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, counter, counter, clock. And check the corners again. This one is a match. This one here is also a match. This one is a match. And this one is a match. So you now have 4 matches, which means that step 2 is finished. And that's it for step number 2. You should practice a few times until you feel confident, and then we'll move on to step 3, which is the last step to solving the 2x2's Rubik's Cube. Now, for step 3, the first thing you need to do is put the white side at the top like this. And you are also going to pick a side. So I'm going to pick this as my front side. And once you pick it, you cannot change the front side. You have to stick with it until you finish step 3. Step 3 is very similar to step number 1. You do clock, clock, counter, counter until you have a yellow here. So now let's do clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, clock, counter, counter. And now we have a yellow here. Now I want you to put your thumb up here and just rotate the bottom. This step is very important. Just rotate the bottom so that this one is no longer a yellow. And now you repeat the process. clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, clock, counter, counter. So now we have a yellow here. Again, you put your thumb up here and rotate the bottom so that this one is no longer a yellow. Clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, clock, counter, counter. And there we go, we have another yellow. Let's solve the last one. Clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, clock, counter, counter, clock, clock, counter, counter. And now we have 4 yellows. And as you can see, if you just turn it to the right, then the entire cube is now solved. So that's basically it for solving the 2x2 Rubik's Cube, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please kindly click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and also share this video to your friends as well. In the next tutorial, I'll show you how to solve the 3x3 Rubik's Cube, and it's also very easy.